news, everybody. I was totally kidding about him getting surgery. Calm down. How you doing? I'm Malcolm Spinetti. I like to make jokes. How you feeling, Fat Kid?
I'm doing good. Kind
Excellent.
of talked I missed that last week, but back this week.
Mm-hmm. And he came back to a good one. The Wolverine. This is one we've been looking forward to for some time.
Yes.
Now, good news. I think we can safely say it's better than Origins.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I knew we were going to disagree on this one. I totally knew we were going to disagree.
It was again. They're saying it's a new movie and stuff, and you say origin, which is funny because this shows origins of another series of characters involved in the Wolverine comics, and both movies they really screwed up some characters. Like Deadpool is like one of my favorite characters of all time, and saw what he did with him and stuff. As soon as they showed his mouth shut in their origins, I was like,
Most talkative character in the Marvel universe. Let's sew him up so he doesn't talk. Yeah.
and then in this one they took liberties and they changed stuff around, and it's like, why?
Well, to be fair, all the comic book movies change things around a little bit.
They do, but like consistently change. I mean, I understand a lot of people don't know about like the comics that happened back in the early '80s and stuff like that now, and half the people in the world don't even read comics anymore. They just wait for the movies to come out, which I understand because I won't read novels and stuff. I'll just wait for the movie to come out.
Yes, for instance, in the case of Man of Steel, they get his character completely wrong. Oh,
But
we were just in the car with two people who loved it. Oh.
but anyways, it had better points in this one, and I enjoyed this one, action and the storyline and the way they convey the Wolverine and the emotions that he was able to use instead of just like, I'm angry, I'm not angry, I'm angry, I'm not angry. There was more emotions throughout this movie, and I liked it better than Origins. I did, but I'm still a little upset with the changes they decided to go with.
Well, let's go through real quick the story. Story of this one is just like how you saw it in the trailer. Wolverine is off being Wolverine one day, when he's brought to Japan by a man who he saved back in World War II. Yes, he's old. So he basically makes him an offer. I can take your pain away. I can give you mortality. I can take away your healing factor. And I like what they do here because I was expecting Wolverine to give a one answer, but he didn't. In fact, and that's a lot of the thing I actually did really enjoy with this movie. They did a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting, and it kept me on my toes, and I really enjoyed it, especially the fight scene at the end, which may detour some purists out there, but for me, for me the changes made the movie more exciting for me. And you know what? I didn't see it as too far out of the realm of possibility.
Me, on the other hand, the changes they did at the end and stuff. I'm not a huge Wolverine fan. He's one of the top Marvel characters. I understand a lot of people love him and everything like that. But if when you get down to it, healing factor, Wolverine's main ability of mutation. How many Marvel characters have a healing factor? Seriously, really two?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool, Wolverine, the Gorilla Hulk, the Juggernaut. Although his is not mutation, his is magical.
Yeah, that's an artifact.
Right. There's a ton of people out there that actually have a healing factor in the Marvel universe. So it doesn't make him that special. Now the adamantium claws is what make him special. And funny thing is it's one thing I always love. It's a comic, so you can't use reality to it. Automatic. But it's just funny how fast like they use it in ways where they show the adamantium and like how it affects and everything like that when people hit him and stuff like that. But this dude is like more agile than like a cat, and he's got all this metal implanted in his body, and
Okay,
he can
no,
jump around like crazy.
you can't do this. They do this in the comic books too.
No, I know, I do. I said you can't use reality. I just think it's
okay.
funny.
Okay.
I didn't say it was anything wrong with it. I'm just saying always thought it was funny.
It would be such a boring cartoon if it was real.
But no, no, but the way how fast he moves and stuff like that, and how agile he is.
And he's really agile in this one, actually.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, but at least as far as you can make it in these movies. Yeah, I liked it. For me, the healing factor. You're right. It goes to a lot of Marvel characters, but in the case of Wolverine, it's one of the things that springs to mind, and it really tackles the idea: is he only the Wolverine because he can take a beating and come back? What if he didn't have that? And I like where they went with it. It made Wolverine look very sympathetic and vulnerable, which is good with a hero. And I ended up really rooting for him. So I enjoyed that direction that they took. So let's talk for a moment about Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine. How did you think he did?
He's the Wolverine.
He is.
There,
Oh my god.
There is nobody who's ever played it before, so you have nothing to compare it to, which is kind of like you can't really use Hugh Jackman as like oh he's so much better than this person that person, but he embodies the Wolverine.
It is incredible, actually. I mean, I haven't seen an actor go so deep in a role of a comic book character, with the exception of Robert Downey Jr. He's the only one I could say he he may beat out.
Loki.
I would still put Hugh Jackman, but that's another good one. But
I can keep going on.
But yeah, he really nails it. You watch him, it's the Wolverine. It's wonderful. He does a fantastic job, and as Fat Kid was saying, he does a great job conveying the emotions, making you feel sympathetic for him. The entire time he's fighting his demons, because this movie takes place after X-Men 3, which yes, unfortunately, it's not retconned. It takes place, and it's essentially him trying to get over killing Jean Grey. Spoilers at the end of X-Men 3, and they actually did get the actress who played Jean Grey for this. Who was essentially playing his guilt, and I like the scenes they have together.
Oh, definitely. And it's good when they always bring back the original characters because when you don't, it takes away from it.
Mm.
And you always go in whenever a new movie comes out with a different actor. Like let's look at the Incredible Hulk. You can't use that. You know why?
Mm.
There's never been like 2 movies in a row with the same guy. But when you have somebody who plays the character for a while and then they switch it up on you, I'm actually going in hating this person. It's not going to be as good as the other one. And, you bring that in automatically and you perceive it and you start nitpicking and stuff like that you wouldn't have done if the person was first person surprise role. You would be like, all right, well, let's see how good they do it compared to like what I've seen in the comics. But when they do it in the movies, always bring back the original character as much as possible. Always the best.
You know what's funny about this argument you're having with it? You liked Iron Man 3, and look what they did to Mandarin.
Yeah, they told you what I think they're actually going to do with the Mandarin,
This
right?
is what you think. We don't have any proof that that's the case. This is just what you're hoping.
For you, Iron Man's been out for a while, so I'm not throwing out any spoilers.
Okay.
Because no, I at this point in time, I refuse to say there's spoilers because
you should have seen it
at
least 4 times.
And if you haven't seen it by now, you're not interested enough to go see it. So I'm gonna just talk. Here's the thing with Mandarin. They have this man who's perceived as Mandarin throughout the most movie. Then you find out at the end he's an actor that they hired to play the Mandarin. They did all this plastic surgery and stuff with him and made him look this way and everything. And what I think is happening is the Mandarin actually made this person to look like him and act like him just to get out there. But it's not really the real Mandarin, but the real Mandarin's behind it all.
Yeah, we could see him in like Iron Man 4 or something like that. Which, if that's true, fantastic. But then again, that's just speculation on our part. As of right now, all we have is Iron Man 3, in which he is an English actor.
Let's look at Marvel. They have not screwed Iron Man up.
No, they haven't. They have. This is not me saying. I'm just saying, in the movies, they tend to go off script a little bit. That's all.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, the Avengers did not meet for the first time fighting the Chitauri, for Christ's sake. They, look at all the ways they've handled the freaking Spider-Man franchise. they do different things. So them going off the beaten path on certain laws of certain characteristics of the character, you know what? It made the film more interesting. Like when the moment you're talking about, which we won't talk about because it's the deal. When that happened, I was like, oh shit, what are they gonna do? What happens now? I mean, it's gone, and so it it actually made it more interesting for me, and I actually did like it. So that's just me.
No, it was good. When I look at stuff, I know it's not going to be exactly how it was in the comics, but when I see stuff and I know stuff and I see it change or where they combine two different characters, and it's like, all right, you guys wrote these comics, you're behind the company that makes these comics and stuff like that. What's going on? How is it that you mushed these two people together? How is it that you changed this and that and thought that this was a lot better than what everybody knows to be as it is? You know, I'm not saying it came out bad. It didn't. The ideas behind it, compared, if you know the comics and stuff like that, and you read the comics, you see some of the stuff and you're just like, why? Because the comics were epic back in with the storyline that's all taking place here.
Now, let's talk about an instance for. Let's talk about a moment about the fight scenes or the action scenes, which I thought were really creative. One of my favorite scenes is you see it in the trailers a little bit, the fight on the bullet train,
Yes,
which they could have just went full blown Hollywood and had Wolverine fighting on a bullet train going 300 miles. No, they treat it pretty realistically.
and it looks so much better than like when Wolverine was fighting Gambit on the Origins, where he's knocking down the ladder with his claws. It looks so phony and like so bad that they should never even had that in the movie. The bullet train graphics are so much better.
It really does look good. I like what they did with it. Another scene when Wolverine figures out how to cure himself, that whole ordeal. I the movie, by the way, is pretty graphic. He's cutting.
You say that, but it's only a little scenes. There's not like a whole lot. Like when he's fighting people and doing that, you only see like maybe 4 or 5 scenes where you actually see him jab his claws into somebody. You'll see it, but it happens off screen.
Here's the thing: the graphic stuff tends to happen to Wolverine. You don't really see like him slicing people up or anything. The most you'll see is like something like this, and he's like, and the guy is like dead. Meanwhile, you'll see Wolverine get roasted in a nuclear explosion right at the beginning of it, which is actually really nicely done too.
Which you kind of see on the trailer happening.
You see the full extent of it though in the movie. But you see him like get destroyed all throughout it, which is great because he's got that's what you want to do because he's got the healing factor. So I enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, you also had that in X-Men 3. X-Men 3 at the end where he's going like
Into the
Phoenix,
fire.
yeah. Where it's like, and they increase his healing factor so much in the movie. But I mean, I think by doing that, it brings more to the character, and you have more of an understanding for his healing factor. But it definitely shows that like he appreciates what he has at the end of the movie.
Yeah. He accepts his great responsibility.
Even without Uncle Ben.
Indeed. By the way, you'll want to stay just a little bit through the credits because there's a stinger at the end that tells of things to come. Which, if you've been keeping your finger on the pulse of the comic book movie world, you know exactly what that is.
That's right, the next Avengers movie.
Yes. He's Ultron. Anyway. All right. Now, you sound like it. Let's talk about what you would give it for a rating. You sound like you're trying to find something nice to say. Is that?
It's a good movie. It is. I liked it and everything. I
Trying to find something nice.
See,
to say.
yeah. No, it is a good movie. It is. And everything that happens in it. But there's just characters are not how they are in the comics, and the things that happen. It's. I want to separate the two, but my head is like, no. It is a good movie. If you don't read the comics, you're gonna love it. If you do read the comics, you might nitpick and be like, this is stupid. Why is this happening? this shouldn't have been like this. This happened like this, and there's of course the movies change things. We understand that, but it conflicts with when you're a comic book fan and you read the comics and you understand backstories and stuff, and then you see it on the movie and you're like, now I know what the people who read all these novels are like. That's just wrong. They missed this whole thing. And I'm like, I don't know how to read the book. I don't care. I'm watching the movie. That's all I care about. It's good. But when you have like the back knowledge, I'm like, oh, no wonder why they're always mad. But it is a good movie without, even people who read the comic probably like it even though. I mean, it's a Wolverine. He's never let us down yet. And if you liked all the other Wolverine movies, you're going to like this movie.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm talking to the same person who defended Pacific Rim to me other week, excuse me.
That's because you're using Pacific Rim, who has no backstory, no nothing. And you're like, it was like this, and it could have done this, it could have done this, and it could have done. I'm like, it's a Godzilla type movie.
Godzilla type movies had good stories.
This one had a good story.
Okay.
Go watch Atlantic Rim, and then you tell me how Pacific Rim is.
We'll do a review of that for this one. Alright, now, for me, really enjoyed it. I went in there, first of all, once again, comic books movie, you can't trust them to keep on point as far as being completely canon. Look what they're going to be doing with Ultron as an example in Avengers. But with this one, it was nonstop awesomeness. Hugh Jackman played Wolverine once again perfectly. It had beat for beat. It had a great action sequence after great action sequence. I enjoyed the story. It was believable. I believed Mariko. Don't look at me like that. You know who I'm talking about. Wolverine and the love interest. I believe that. I even enjoyed the redheaded sidekick that they brought along for this one, who I forget. I just call her Katana because Batman has a sidekick called Katana too.
Also, in Mortal Kombat, there's another character named Katana.
This one didn't.
A sword is also named a katana.
Indeed, and there's lots of katanas in this one actually.
Not characters named Katana, but people wielding them.
Yes, and in this one, it took some turns I wasn't expecting, even though literally Fat Kid and I arrived at the same conclusion, though your voice did, as far as the ending, which, you can still catch you off guard, but we were able to call it. I still enjoyed it. I had fun. I'm good. This is going to be one I pre-order. As far as going to go see it in theaters, yeah. If you enjoyed Origins, go see this.
All right, now Malcolm really liked this movie because he didn't say if you want to go see it in theaters, go see it at a matinee. No, he didn't even say that. He said go see it, pay full price.
Yeah,
you could tell because otherwise he would tell you go see it at a matinee if it was like Mm-hmm. This is I think the first movie that you actually said go see it in the movie theaters. Since I think Spider-Man. No, not Spider-Man. We didn't even do Spider-Man. Look at that.
I would not say go see Spider-Man.
I know, I had to throw that in there. But no, I think this is the first movie since
Fast 6.
Iron Man.
No, Fast 6, I think. Fast 6 came out after Iron Man.
You liked Fast 6?
Yeah, I loved it.
Check the review.
I loved it. I don't know if you saw it. It was fun. Anyway.
Promoting us out there.
Indeed, yeah. Tell you what, go see the YouTube video and comment below whether I called it right. Then watch it again to make sure. Anyway. So, yeah, it's a good movie. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Speaking of movies, guess what we have next week, buddy?
What?
We have 2 guns coming up next week.
Nice.
And I gotta say, this movie went from being one that I really didn't care about seeing in theaters to one I'm actually really curious to see.
Because of all the trailers you've been seeing lately?
Yeah, I've seen the one trailer that's come up in like the last 3 movies in a row that we've been seeing. But yeah, it's the action flick, for lack of a better term, buddy movie with Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg, where essentially they're both undercover cops who are undercovering each other, which figured that out.
Well, they're both different. They're not covering each other. They're 2 organizations, different organizations, where they have two undercover people.
Special Forces and I think DEA or something.
Yeah, and they end up working together, thinking one's bad, the other one's good, but they end up both being good. And they find out after they do this, then they find out they were all set up. And so now they stole all this money from certain people, and so now people are after them, and they're trying to figure out who set them up and what's going on. So they end up having to work together. Denzel's not too happy about this. Mark Wahlberg is ecstatic.
It looks funny as well as being action packed, so I'm very interested to see this one.
Yes.
All right, folks. What do you think? Is Two Guns going to be good? Let us know in the comments below. Did you not like Nika the Wolverine like he did? You can post down below. Or if you were like me and liked it and agree with me and thank me for endorsing this movie, unlike him, go he liked it.
If he had pom poms, this dude would be like, "Woo, Wolverine!"
It's a good movie. I'm gonna pre-order it too.
I'm just like, Wolverine.
Remember, be awesome. Subscribe to us below. You'll get our movie reviews every week. And be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the review. We're going to see you next week.